The Chicago skyline blazed amber as Lucas Hayes eased his Audi into his Lincoln Park driveway, the city's restless pulse fading under the chill of dusk. At 45, a data analyst who could dissect complex systems with surgical precision, Lucas carried a quiet intensity, his blue eyes catching the flicker of the porch light. He closed a major contract in the Loop hours early, a deal that could have bankrolled a Lake Michigan penthouse, but his thoughts weren't on the win. Claire, his wife of 10 years, 42, a corporate trainer whose charisma could sway any boardroom, had grown distant. Her late nights, once tied to client workshops, now came with thin excuses, her warmth replaced by a guarded edge. He told her he'd be in Milwaukee until morning. His early return was a calculated test of a trust beginning to crack. The brownstone stood silent, its windows dark, and Claire's BMW was conspicuously absent. Client session in River North. Her text had claimed at 4:45 p.m., but Lucas's got twisted with doubt. A month ago, at a Gold Coast bistro, she'd angled her phone away when a notification flashed, her lips tightening when he asked about her week. He'd dismissed it as stress. Her firm was pitching a tech conglomerate, but the memory lingered like a bruise. Inside, he brushed past the hall table, grabbing her scarf from the rack. A sharp cedar scent, alien to his pine cologne, clung to the fabric. His mind snagged on Derek Walsh, 46, Claire's team lead and Lucas's former Northwestern debate partner. At a recent Loop fundraiser, Derek's smile had lingered on Claire, their hushed conversation too intimate for colleagues. Lucas's fingers tightened around the scarf. He wasn't one for rash conclusions, but the pieces were aligning. Upstairs, in their bedroom, Claire's phone lay on the dresser, an unusual oversight for someone so meticulous. Lucas paused, his hand hovering over the device. 10 years ago, on Mackinac Island, they'd exchanged vows under a sunset, setting phone pins 0812, the date of their first Navy Pier date, her laughter bright as the Ferris wheel's lights. He entered the code, half expecting a lockout. The screen unlocked. A text from Derek glowed. "My loft tonight? Got your favorite Cabernet." Claire's reply, timestamped 6:02 p.m. "Be there soon." Lucas's chest constricted, his breath shallow. He swiped through her gallery. Photos of Claire and Derek at a rooftop lounge, their heads bent close. Another, their hands brushing in Grant Park, dated July. A third, her smiling at him in a hotel bar, from May. 10 years, vows, plans for their daughters, Mia and Zoe, family vacations to Lake Geneva, shattered like a dropped glass. Lucas didn't shout or hurl the phone. He sank onto the bed, the frame creaking under his weight, and let rage sharpen into focus. His mind, trained to detect data breaches, began mapping a response, not reckless confrontation, but a strategy as precise as his code. Claire had deceived him, and Derek, who'd once stayed up late swapping debate tactics, had driven the knife deeper. The betrayal wasn't just love, it was loyalty, gutted by the two people he trusted most. He brewed a pot of coffee, no whiskey, he needed clarity, and opened his laptop. Evidence was his first step, not accusations. A quick search for Chicago divorce lawyer led him to Ellen Pierce, a top-rated attorney known for navigating high-stakes splits. He dialed, catching her at 8:50 p.m. "Lucas Hayes," he said, his voice steady despite a racing pulse. "I've got proof my wife's cheating. I need a plan to protect myself." Ellen's tone was crisp, professional. "Illinois is a no-fault state, Lucas. An affair won't shift custody much, but concrete evidence can influence asset division, your house, investments, 401k. Get me texts, emails, locations." Lucas nodded to the empty room. "How do I keep this legal?" Ellen didn't hesitate. "I work with a private investigator, Nate Cole, ex-FBI discreet. He can track her car, mirror her phone, even plant audio in her bag if you approve. Want him on this?" Lucas's answer was immediate. "Start tonight." Ellen promised Nate would call within the hour. "One rule," she added. "Don't confront her yet. You'll lose leverage." Lucas exhaled, her words anchoring his next move. Nate called at 9:20 p.m., his voice gravelly but calm. Ellen filled me in. I can slap a GPS on her BMW by midnight, clone her phone by dawn. Audio in her purse, yes or no? Lucas pictured Claire's voice, Derek's low chuckles, captured in real time. It felt like crossing a line, but her lies had crossed one first. Purse, he said. She rarely checks it. Nate grunted approval. Smart. I'll ping you when it's active. Stay cool, Hayes, she's got no clue. The call ended, and Lucas opened a tracking app he'd built for clients, a side project for monitoring assets. Claire's phone signal pulsed at Derek's West Loop loft, 4.2 miles away, nowhere near River North. The dot held steady, unmoving. His fingers twitched, itching to dial her and shred her alibi. Ellen's warning echoed. Silence was his power. He dove deeper, accessing Claire's cloud through a backdoor he'd set up for work. Her emails revealed a trail of flirtation with Derek. Your pitch was electric, drink soon? And a June hotel receipt for $350, no client justification attached. He archived every file, encrypting them on a hidden drive, each piece a brick in his case. A calendar entry stood out. DW, rooftop, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. Lucas's pulse surged. He'd turn it against them. Using a burner phone bought with cash weeks ago, he texted Derek, mimicking Claire's tone. Tomorrow, your loft? Need to talk. Derek's reply came fast. Always open for you. Lucas's lip curled, a grim satisfaction settling in. He packed a duffel, laptop, charger, a change of clothes, for his supposed Milwaukee trip, a cover to buy him time. Claire slipped into the house at 12:42 a.m., her heels clicking softly on the hardwood, keys jingling as she set them down. Lucas lay in bed, eyes half closed, feigning sleep. Long day, she whispered, brushing a kiss across his forehead, her breath carrying the sharp tang of red wine, not her usual peppermint tea. Client loved the pitch, she added, her voice too smooth, too practiced. Lucas mumbled, proud of you, catching her quick glance at her phone before she dimmed the screen. She didn't notice the purse, now rigged with Nate's tracker, as his text confirmed. GPS on, audio live. Lucas's mind churned, replaying her guarded phone tilt at the bistro, Derek's overly warm, great collab, at the fundraiser. A decade ago, she'd danced with him under Navy Pier's lights, her joy his anchor. Derek had been there too, a friend who'd shared late-night study sessions, their debates sharpening each other's minds. Now both had burned him. Lucas wasn't after blood, he'd exposed their lives with cold, hard truth, and they'd never see it coming. Subscribe, there's a clue only the sharpest will spot. Comment it, and brace for what's next. The Grant Park fog swallowed Lucas Hayes's Audi as he parked near a shadowed trail, Chicago's skyline a distant smudge through the haze. At 45, a data analyst who could crack any firewall, he was now unraveling his marriage. Claire thought he was in Milwaukee. Instead, he was here, staging a vanishing act to trap her affair with Derek Walsh. His duffel held props, forged emails implicating Claire and Derek in a fake corporate leak, a cloned key to Derek's loft, and a cryptic note. Truth cuts deep. No fists, just a spark to ignite their lies. Lucas worked fast, planting the emails on a burner laptop inside his car, leaving the door ajar to draw attention. He tossed the key near a park bench, scuffing it to look lost, and hacked Claire's email to insert a message to Derek. Grant Park, 11 p.m. urgent. A tablet in his bag held a video, his silhouette pacing under a street lamp, voice distorted, set to leak to police in 48 hours. At 1:15 a.m., he called 911 from a disposable phone, voice masked. Grant Park, saw an Audi, looks wrong. He pitched the phone into a murky pond, heart pounding, and hiked 2 miles to a rental car stashed behind a closed diner. By 2:45 a.m., he was holed up in a Skokie motel, signed in as Evan Reed, the room's stale air thick with mildew but secure. Nate, his PI, texted at 6:10 a.m. Claire's at Walsh's loft. Lucas's tracking app pinned her BMW there, unmoved since midnight. He sent an anonymous tip to Chicago PD. Check Claire Hayes's email. The planted message would stir suspicion, pointing to a rendezvous that never happened. He cued another clue, Derek's keycard, to be dropped near a park fountain tomorrow, to tighten the net. Claire's purse audio, now live, caught her soft sigh. What if Lucas knows something? Derek's scoff. He's buried in spreadsheets. Lucas's anger flared, but he channeled it into precision, not chaos, his fingers steady on his laptop. He cracked Derek's email next, uncovering a deal with Claire's rival, Vanessa Reed, offering her firm's contract for personal favors. Lucas's jaw clenched. Derek wasn't just betraying him, he was undermining Claire's career for profit. He saved the email, a weapon for later. But a new alert jolted him. Nate's update flagged a co-worker, Jenna Holt, who texted Lucas's burner, mistaking it for Claire's. Saw you with Derek at his loft. Watch your back. Jenna knew too much. Was she an ally or Derek's plant? Lucas's mind raced, recalculating his plan. He dialed Jenna, voice low, using a voice-over IP to mask his number. Why'd you warn Claire? Jenna hesitated, her breath catching. I saw them at the fundraiser, too close. Thought you should know. Her tone wavered, hinting at more. Dig into Derek's old firm, she added, then hung up abruptly. Lucas ran a search. Derek's last company had hushed fraud allegations, tied to Vanessa Reed's early deals. Was Jenna exposing Derek or baiting Lucas into a mistake? He saved her contact, a variable he couldn't yet solve. A near miss tightened the stakes. Nate texted. Patrol car swept your rental drop. No trace, but they're sniffing. Lucas's pulse spiked. Detective Anna Voss, known for cracking stage cases, was likely on it. He'd underestimated her reach. He replayed last summer's memory, Claire biking beside him along Lake Michigan, her laugh catching the breeze, Derek toasting their anniversary with a grin. Was any of it real? The betrayal stung deeper, wife and friend, both turning on him. Lucas leaned back in the motel's creaky chair, the hum of his laptop filling the silence. He pulled up Claire's cloud again, finding a deleted email from Derek. Vanessa's in. Your pitch is out unless we close this. It was dated a week before the fundraiser, proof Derek was playing Claire, too. Lucas archived it, his plan sharpening. He'd planned another email tomorrow, one framing Derek as the leak's source, and ping Anna with a tip. Check Walsh's old deals. The motel's thin walls carried the drone of a late-night argument next door, but Lucas tuned it out, focused. Jenna's text gnawed at him. Her warning could be a lifeline, or a trap. He traced her digital footprint. Her LinkedIn showed a brief stint at Derek's old firm. Too close to be coincidence. Lucas stood, pacing the room, the carpet worn under his boots. He pictured confronting Claire, her eyes widening as he laid out her lies. But Ellen's warning held. Patience was his edge. He'd expose them legally, with evidence that would ruin their reputations, not his. The tracker showed Claire's BMW still at Derek's loft, the audio catching her whisper. We need to be careful. Derek's reply. Relax, he's clueless. Lucas's lip curled grim. They thought they'd outsmarted him, but he was rewriting their story, bite by bite. Claire and Derek were blind to the storm coming, but Jenna's shadow and Anna's pursuit hinted at a bigger game. Lucas wasn't just setting a trap, he was walking a tightrope. Subscribe, one detail only the sharpest catch. Comment it, and stay for more. Detective Anna Voss paced Grant Park's mist-soaked trails, the Audi's open door a deliberate clue under Chicago's gray dawn. At 50, a cop with a nose for deception, she knew this wasn't a crime scene, it was a setup. The 911 call, clipped voice masked, had flagged an Audi in the park. But the evidence was too clean. Forged emails naming Claire Hayes and Derek Walsh, a loft key gleaming despite the dew, no signs of a struggle. Lucas Hayes, 45, data analyst, was gone, but Anna bet he was watching, pulling strings. She bagged the key, tied to Derek, Claire's boss, her mind already mapping his game. This wasn't a disappearance, it was a masterstroke. Anna signaled Officer Kyle Tran, a rookie with quick hands. Print those emails, she said, noting their sharp folds, untouched by the damp. Pull the Audi's NAV, every stop, every timestamp. Tran's flashlight danced across the car's interior as he nodded. Anna circled the vehicle, picturing Lucas, wiry, precise, a man who could vanish in plain sight. His firm's watercolor talk painted him as reliable but lately distant, eyes shadowed. She drove to his Lincoln Park brownstone, the porch light cutting through the fog like a blade. Claire, 42, answered the door, her hands trembling, her trainer's polish cracked. Lucas is in Milwaukee, she said, gripping a mug so tightly her knuckles whitened. Anna held up the emails, their text accusing Claire and Derek of a corporate leak. Found these. When'd you last speak? Claire's mug tilted, coffee sloshing. Yesterday, a quick call. Her phone, when checked, was suspiciously blank. Anna caught a cedar scent on Claire's coat, same as the key's sleeve. Lucas close with Derek Walsh? Claire's eyes flicked sideways. Old college buddies. Too fast, too rehearsed. Anna's next stop was Derek's West Loop loft, its sleek glass facade reflecting the city's pulse. Derek, 46, greeted her with a practiced smile, but tension lines creased his face. Lucas is out of town, right? Anna dangled the key, its shine catching the loft's dim light. This yours? His smile faltered, a microsecond too long. Might have misplaced it. His alibi, drinks with Claire at a Wicker Park bar, matched hers perfectly, but a tip landed on Anna's phone. Check Claire's email. A message to Derek. Grant Park, 11 p.m. urgent. Glowed on her screen. Anna leaned in, voice low. Care to explain? Derek's composure cracked, his fingers drumming the counter. At the precinct, Anna sat Claire in a stark interrogation room, the fluorescent buzz sharpening her focus. I leaned on Derek, work stress, late-night talks. Claire confessed, her voice thin, eyes darting to the one-way glass. Nothing more. Anna slid the email across the table. You sent this, setting a park meet? Claire shook her head, adamant. Not mine. In a separate room, Derek was less convincing, snapping. We're just colleagues. The key undid him. Lost it. He muttered, avoiding Anna's gaze. A video hit her inbox, Lucas's silhouette pacing under a street lamp, deliberate, eerie. Anna played it for Claire, whose gasp filled the room. I'd never heard him. Then Anna's phone pinged, a hacked email from Derek to Vanessa Reed, Claire's rival, trading her firm's contract for closer ties. Anna's eyes narrowed. Derek wasn't just cheating, he was a snake. A twist landed like a punch. Jenna Holt, Lucas's co-worker, walked into the precinct, her hands fidgeting. I tipped Lucas about Claire and Derek, she admitted, her voice unsteady. Anna pressed hard. Why get involved? Jenna's eyes flicked to the floor. Derek's dirty. His old firm buried fraud, linked to Vanessa. Lucas deserved the truth. Anna ran a check. Derek's past showed hush fraud claims, Vanessa's name in the shadows. Was Jenna helping Lucas or covering her tracks? Claire's purse audio, pulled by Nate, dropped a grenade. Jenna saw us at the loft. Claire whispered to Derek. She's a problem. Derek's reply. She's bluffing, or she's ours. Anna froze. Jenna was Derek's mole, feeding Lucas half-truths to lure him into a trap. Anna's mind churned. Lucas wasn't just framing Claire and Derek, he was caught in Jenna's double-cross. The video's IP dodged her best trackers, Lucas's handiwork, no doubt. Claire's tears felt staged, but Derek's silence screamed guilt. Jenna's tip was a hook, but who was the fish? A patrol had grazed Lucas's rental drop, Nate had warned, nearly nabbing him. Anna stood, pacing the precinct's worn tiles, her coffee cold. She'd find Lucas, but first she'd shred their web of lies strand by strand. Claire and Derek thought they'd played Lucas, but Jenna's betrayal flipped the board, and Anna was closing in. Subscribe, one clue only the sharpest spot. Comment it, and brace for the end. The Chicago courthouse buzzed with restless energy as Claire Evans sat at the defense table, her once radiant confidence faded to a brittle shell. At 42, A former corporate trainer who could sway any audience, she now avoided the gallery's whispers, her eyes hollow. Derek Walsh, 46, sat beside her, his hands gripping the chair, his polished charm buried under a sheen of sweat. Analysts, Lincoln Park parents, and looped suits filled the seats, drawn to the mystery of Lucas Hayes's disappearance. Detective Anna Voss leaned against a marble pillar, her gaze steady. She knew Lucas, 45, wasn't dead. He was orchestrating this unraveling. Prosecutor Ian Cole opened with a blade. Claire Evans and Derek Walsh hid a betrayal and obstructed justice. He flashed the forged emails, the loft key, and a Grant Park video, Lucas's shadow pacing, now crystal clear. Their deceit is undeniable, Cole declared, locking eyes with jurors. They scribbled, faces stern. Defense lawyer Nora Kane rose, her voice calm but firm. No body, no crime. Lucas Hayes, a data savant, scripted this entire drama. She pointed at Claire and Derek. They strayed emotionally, not legally. A juror hesitated, her pen stalling, doubt flickering. Claire took the stand, her voice trembling but measured. I got too close to Derek. Late talks, work pressures. I'd never harm Lucas. Cole pounced, relentless. You hid texts, lied about his Milwaukee trip. Claire's tears fell, her hands twisting a tissue. Derek's testimony was weaker, his claim of just colleagues crumbling under the key's weight, his initials etched on its edge. Misplaced. He mumbled, unconvincing. A forensic tech testified, confirming the email server was a ghost, a digital dead end, Lucas's signature. Cole projected Derek's email to Vanessa Reed, Claire's rival, scheming to steal her contract for profit. You used her. Cole snapped. Claire's gasp echoed, Derek paled, and jurors exchanged dark looks. Nora surged forward, clutching a tablet. Your Honor, new evidence. In chambers, Lucas's face filled a live feed, composed, unshaven, his voice steady. I'm alive, he said. I planted the emails, the video, to expose their lies. They didn't attack me, they broke my trust. A digital signature verified the stream's authenticity. Judge Lena Morse paused, her gavel still. Authenticated. Back in court, Nora played the feed for all. Claire covered her mouth, sobbing silently. Derek slumped, his face ashen. Anna nodded, she'd called it. The gallery erupted, reporters scrambling for the exits, phones already buzzing with the news. Text confirmed the feed was untampered, its source untraceable. Morse halted proceedings with a sharp bang. No victim, no case. Claire and Derek walked free, but their firm fired them within hours, their names radioactive in Chicago's corporate circles. Anna traced the stream to a fleeting Evanston signal, too brief to pin. A file surfaced on X, Lucas's detailed notes on Vanessa's fraud, linked to Derek's old deals, sparking audits. Chicago's chatter split. Was Lucas a hero or a manipulator? Claire whispered to her lawyer. He outplayed us. Derek said nothing, his empire reduced to dust. Anna jotted in her notebook. Jenna's role? The Audi's coded note. Truth at dusk. Aligned with the feed's timestamp, a final taunt from Lucas. But a sharper twist landed. Jenna Holt's email to Derek, sent post-trial, read, You owe me. Anna's pulse quickened. Claire's purse audio, later analyzed, caught a hushed exchange. Jenna's pushing Vanessa's deal, Derek had said. She's deeper than we thought. Anna pieced it together. Jenna wasn't just Derek's mole, she'd played both sides, nudging Lucas's trap while shielding Vanessa's fraud. Lucas's feed had caught her off guard, exposing her game. The courtroom emptied, but Anna lingered, her mind racing. Lucas had dismantled Claire and Derek, but Jenna's shadow loomed larger. Was she a pawn who'd overreached or the real architect pulling strings? Anna stepped into the courthouse's chilly atrium, the city's skyline glowing amber beyond the glass. She replayed the case, Lucas's precision, Claire's tears, Derek's collapse. The emails, the key, the video, all pointed to Lucas's hand, but Jenna's late move suggested a deeper conspiracy. Claire and Derek were pawns, their lies stripped bare, but the board wasn't clear. Anna's phone buzzed a tip. Check Vanessa's offshore accounts. Lucas's work, no doubt. He'd exposed the betrayal, but Jenna's. You owe me. Hinted at a bigger fight. Claire and Derek thought they'd survived, but Lucas, and maybe Jenna, had changed the game forever. Subscribe, one twist only the sharpest catch. Comment it, and stay locked in for the end. Claire Evans sorted files in a Pilsen community center, her movements deliberate despite the weight of her fall. At 42, once a corporate trainer who commanded Chicago's boardrooms, she was now an aide, her name a whispered cautionary tale in the city's elite circles. She stayed late, mentoring teens who saw her as a guide, their trust a quiet balm for the pain of losing her daughter's faith. Guilt gnawed at her. She chased Derek Walsh's promises, betraying Lucas Hayes, her husband of 10 years, now 45. Lucas's courtroom feed, revealing he'd staged it all, wasn't just his victory. It was her mirror, reflecting the cost of her lies. Derek coded freelance gigs in a cramped Aurora apartment, his once thriving career reduced to ashes. Social media branded him #ChicagoCheat, his contacts ghosting him. He stumbled across Claire's aide job online, her quiet strength a stark contrast to his unraveling. He'd manipulated her, trading her firm's contract to Vanessa Reed for profit, only to lose his reputation, his network, everything. A client cancelled, leaving his rent unpaid. He typed an apology to Lucas, words that felt hollow, inadequate, then trashed it. His mirror reflected a man who'd gambled big and lost, his confidence shattered. Detective Anna Voss, 50, sat in her Chicago precinct, Lucas's file a thin stack of dead ends. An Evanston signal had vanished, but a Naperville login, initialed LH, teased her. Lucas faced fraud charges if caught, yet he'd outrun her, a ghost in the digital ether. A package landed on her desk, no sender, just a USB with Lucas's voice. Jenna's tied to Vanessa's fraud, Derek was her pawn. Anna smirked, slipping it into evidence. Her captain pushed for closure, but she chased truth. Lucas's justice was clean, leaving no blood, only consequences that reshaped lives. Claire found a note tucked in her bag, and signed, in Lucas's precise handwriting, a photo of Mia and Zoe, laughing at a Lake Geneva pier, with "Rise" scrawled below. She wept, not for the marriage she'd broken, but for the clarity it brought. She'd been blind, chasing ambition over love. At the center, a teen named Liam thanked her for helping him prep for a job interview, his earnest nod a spark of redemption. Later, she faced Mia and Zoe at a quiet diner, her voice soft. I failed you both. I'm trying to be better. Their hesitant hugs, Zoe's small smile, felt like a fragile new start. Claire deleted Derek's old texts, choosing honesty over shame. Lucas built databases in Madison, Wisconsin, under a new name, his life stripped to essentials. He'd sent Anna the USB, his final nudge, then severed all ties. Claire and Derek's ruin was enough, no violence, just accountability delivered with surgical precision. Vanessa's firm faced federal audits, Derek's fraud exposed in leaked documents. Anna decoded the Audi's note. Truth at dusk. As Lucas's exit, a signal he'd left Chicago behind. The city forgot him, his shadow fading into rumor. Claire helped teens, Derek scraped by, and Lucas coded in solitude, free from betrayal's chains. But Anna's mind lingered on Jenna Holt. The USB hinted at her role, but a late tip, unsigned, likely Lucas, pointed to Vanessa's offshore accounts, with Jenna's name on wire transfers. Jenna had played everyone, Lucas, Derek, even Vanessa, nudging the trap while hiding her tracks. Lucas's feed had blindsided her, exposing her double game. Anna visited Jenna's last known address, a sleek River North condo, now empty. A neighbor said she'd left abruptly, suitcase in hand. Anna's gut said Jenna was still out there, scheming. Claire, at the community center, overheard a teen mention a new mentor. Some sharp lady from downtown. And caught a familiar name, Vanessa. Her pulse quickened. Was Vanessa circling back, or was it coincidence? She didn't dwell, focusing on Liam's resume, but the thought lingered. Derek, in Aurora, saw a job listing from a firm tied to Vanessa's network and applied, desperate, unaware of the audits closing in. Lucas, in Madison, caught a news blip about Vanessa's firm and smiled faintly. He'd lit the fuse, and the fallout was spreading. Anna filed her report, marking Lucas's case unresolved, but satisfied. The truth hadn't healed anyone, it had cleared the wreckage, letting Claire rebuild, Derek face his ruin, and Lucas vanish. Jenna's shadow was the last loose thread, a player who'd almost outsmarted them all. Claire's small steps with her daughters, Derek's struggle, Lucas's freedom, they were proof that betrayal didn't end lives. It forced new beginnings, raw but honest. Chicago's skyline glowed on, indifferent, as their stories diverged, shaped by a truth none could escape. Subscribe. Lucas's final clue landed. Caught it? Comment, and don't miss what's next.